Morning with Max. Hey folks, welcome to another Morning with Max. If you don't know who I am, I'm Max Porter. I'm the writer, editor, lore keeper, board game designer, stream runner, and various other things here at City State Entertainment, where we are working on the MMORPG, Camelot Unchained. Pachamos, Max, do you actually own a wizard hat and can you wear it? Yes and yes, but it's not here in the office right now. I took it back home. Hello, Tom on the YouTube chat.
And I went, ooh. And I was so upset because I could have opened the curtain earlier. And I was like, ah. There was a lot of, I was like, ah. A little crush.
Tyler's making some story about a pet, I think. Let's see. We have had another great week of streaming. If you check the schedule, I've got all the streams linked in there. So we had an alpha stream yesterday morning. We had Code with JB in the afternoon. Back on Wednesday, we had Armor Materials with John in the afternoon. Back on Tuesday, I was not feeling well, and nobody turned on the office stream. So we didn't have anything on Tuesday. But back on Monday, we had Morning with Max, just like today, and the Beta 1 date announcement, which if you haven't seen that, is definitely worth watching. Pachamos, do you plan on recreating your Lore Master costume from your caricature and wear it for the launch of Beta? That'd be pretty fun, Pachamos. I could do that. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of hard work around the launch of Beta, as well as silliness.
And then you learn to hug the girls.
Sacrix, is Mark in today? Is he expected to wrap up? No, Mark's not feeling well today. Critical Danny. 138 days left until all three realms finish hammering the game. Critical Danny is referencing the little GIF on the front of our website, created by James Koo. 139 days until beta, it says. So, it's awesome. Astisha, cheer to the people behind you. Ooh. I don't want to interrupt them. Phenomenal. Should have a devs versus backers battle to open up beta. That'd be fun. We did something like that at the opening of alpha, I think. We just surrounded everybody as they came in and killed them. Who's maybe doing wrap up then? Probably maybe Tyler and someone else. We'll have another TNT stream with Tyler and Tim. Feel free to give it a miss. Sacrix. It's great, says Critical Danny. Referring to the hammering GIF? Yeah, I love it.
All I'm doing is poking this map mostly.
Yeah, I need you to...
There isn't more Berserker lore coming. Sacrix, I already wrote it. But if you're asking about art and design, I have absolutely no idea. Not for Beta 1.
Yeah, like just one per class is what we're talking about. But like we've talked about, like our classes should have
Halloween. I think the numbers might be in favor of the backers for Beta 1. So they will come up with some lame excuse to not do it. You have a point there, Halloween. Probably not Sacrix. As you can probably hear in the background, Tyler and Ben are deep in something. Ben's a busy guy.
Oh no, we're talking crazy.
But you can always ask him.
Like, have you read the Divine Intervention descriptions in the class document?
No, what is it?
The Ulfhednar had a complete story.
Down and, like, intervenes in your
From beginning to end, Sacrix.
It's ridiculous stuff.
You might be thinking of a different race.
Well, not later in the game. It's like a class of abilities that you can only use once on a very long cooldown.
Whose lore is actually unfinished.
Once in a while, I
I don't
can do
remember.
this super
Are they
crazy
Can
thing.
you share with me whatever you've got
It's on the
those?
website.
It's those.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
Phenomenal.
I really, honestly, I would like to do something fun. Like you, I really like your.
Stisha. Oh.
I'm not. I really like the. I
You
wanna do
guys,
something
can you
fun.
still hear me?
Nail that down. Like.
Hey, is anybody streaming something really intense?
Or, I'm standing with my pack and my
Yeah,
bottles
well,
and I do
that's a
this.
little bit more involved, right? 'Cause that's
Maybe a programmer did something. I think it.
I'd like to do that.
I saw the internet hitch there.
Because if we can say like that's his idol for his offensive idol, whatever, then we can just dovetail all different kinds of things off of that and actually go down a route with that class.
Is Andrew in Seattle right now?
But I really like this,
I don't know.
and it'd be great if we did a probably generate something that pops off and go right. And Mike, could
It
do,
was
like,
on the
spray
company
and
calendar,
everything
so he might
right
be.
in front of you.
He might be flying there right now.
And then I really like doing the.
Can still hear me. It's fine. It refreshed a second. Great.
Boom.
Yeah, no, I
And
just
drop the hammer. Do
got a
AoE
big
ripple.
red,
Mike's gonna complain that he doesn't have. You're gonna complain
mark
that
there for a minute.
Mike's gonna complain that the VFX go through the train. I'm gonna say,
Ooh, we are hearing
we're gonna go,
game
boom.
deving
We're just gonna
happening.
do a big ripple of electricity, and then we're gonna shock everybody.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, this is the conversation that Tyler and Ben have.
But if you want to do like a holy intervention and all your enemies get.
Talking about
Yeah.
That's what I pictured.
various flashy animations and VFX on abilities.
So assume at the.
Fogalog, was that a break the stream test? Huh. Kind of.
That will at least get through 6 animations. 3 animators, 2 weeks. Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Nice, phenomenal. Say hi to AJ.
well, before we were like, well, we could maybe do one cool thing per class, but then you're like, only 6 classes get cool things, and the other ones get nothing.
No, they will. No, I'm saying during this sprint.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. No, we'll give everybody one.
What's the deliverable at the end of the sprint?
For those.
But,
well, that's the thing is I don't have a priority for Mark.
Thank you. I think someone has finally found a name.
VFX.
What are we talking about, Lotaween?
All the broken stuff. Because the animators are not.
How was that board game roleplay test? Sacrix, you sometimes throw the word roleplay in and I have no idea what it means in context. The board game has nothing to do with role-playing, unless you're just using it as your generic negative word for things that you don't want or care about. So, they've been great.
So because
Doing sprints in Beta 1 lead up? Yeah. It's like a term for, it's like an agile term, development, so, it's like, oh yeah, different, strike teams are working on, different, aspects of, development for Beta 1.
I don't know. Because if let's say.
We're going to have to discuss the fly on the wall etiquette, folks. Never mention the background conversations or we get the mute button. They know they're on stream.
Do a big red slash, and then a big boom. That might take him, 2 days to do to get
The man with no screen names, usual and phenomenal 256's pun, seems strangely familiar. Ah, I gotcha. Strangely similar. Did I say familiar? Strangely similar. And yes, much roleplay. Yes, I meant, how did the test go, says Sacrex. How many people turned up? I've been running playtests with local backers in groups of 3 to 5 on weekends. Not every weekend, but most weekends. Since I sent out that email, I got about 12 different people. And I've been playtesting with them, and the playtests have been going great. I've gotten some great stuff done. Some of the new tokens in the last board game playtest that I streamed here in the office had some pieces that that came at were sort of created due to playtesting with local backers. The healer does not have a res skill. That would make the game take too long.
I'm still saying I don't know the first part, even though it is independent information. Because if we take,
Good morning, Thaddeus.
and it depends on what we want to do with it, right? Like, you might. Here, you can start.
Thaddeus, I think, was there, right? At a board game playtest. So you can ask them.
Now I want him to do lights on fire on the prep. He does a big fiery swing.
How long is it supposed to last?
Light on fire. It's the
When people know how to play the game, it's about 10 or 15 minutes per the number of players.
All in with that. Just guessing.
So with 5 players, it took quite a bit longer than it does with 2.
15 days.
Yeah, that'll be fun, huh, Thaddeus?
We had 7 abilities per thing, and we're only going to get through so many of them over time, obviously. So the question is, when does Mark expect to have something flashy?
For the whole game?
Do we do just a handful?
Yeah, for the Escape the Depths version of the game.
That's really the question. Is, do you want us to do some of
Phenomenal. Have you ever thought about DMing a D&D game with members of the community?
So, let me-
Yeah, sure. It's more a matter of, having the time to set something like that up. I'm already doing board game playtests on my weekends. I have one coming up tomorrow, actually. Gotta wear the wizard outfit. I can bring the hat in, Phenomenal. I can do it. I'll try to remember. Yeah, that what Thanakus is saying is quite accurate. First time game with 5 players, which is more than I've really playtested with previously. It took an hour 30. Wolf Power. Is there an alpha this weekend for backers? I don't know. I don't know. Wolf Power. I haven't heard the plan. That would be a good question for this afternoon, if you're able to come back for the end of week wrap up. Phenomenal. Where can I find a link to this board game? So this is the depths themed board game that I've been working on, sort of between other projects, and pulling people in the office to play test it with me over lunch breaks and in their free time, which has been very kind of them. And there's a playlist. Here we go.
No, it's not the case before. No, before you deleted the zone, it would just delete the zone reference. And then you can probably bring it back and somehow magically.
Of the board game playtests on YouTube.
No, actually, if you just
On our YouTube channel. I'm trying to like link directly to the playlist.
I wouldn't know with that assumption at all. Well, before there's a way there.
It's called Board Game Playtests, and it's on our YouTube channel, and it has 17 videos.
I should put some placeables and some stuff in and try cloning it. Designer should just then what? At some point today, would you clone the map you're working in?
Good afternoon, Vo 1980.
Yeah, it's building right now. And check it and tell Bull what the results are.
Okay.
Thanks, Thaddeus. But yeah, I sent an email out to backers a couple weeks ago.
No, to test his work.
He said he already tested it. You just want me to do
About,
something like just to make extra sure?
Right.
About playtesting if you happen to be nearby, if you happen to live near the studio.
You guys look at me like this is a crazy idea.
It's a bit of a drive, yeah. Don't worry about it, phenomenal.
It wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be crazy if I said I didn't want to test it.
It's just a fun thing.
Let's just see what happens. It's not going to take 5 minutes to clone it. It's fine. There you go. 2 7-year-olds. So Zoe's been doing. Has a new shtick is I'd rather die.
You can shop groceries and stuff like that online, Vo 1980. My wife does so. Amazon Fresh.
Of course, I only tested it on its
It's
own.
the best. It really is good.
And some terrain, like a million. That should make a difference. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Phenomenal. We don't have delivery services like that here. Oh, that's too bad. Sacrix. What are the rules of the board game and what is the win conditions? Well, I can't get into all the rules of the board game in the next 10 minutes, but the win conditions are you've got to kill your opponent in order to escape the depths. And good guys win together, bad guys win solo. So the Servant of the Depths has various area abilities and attempts to kill all the delvers who must work together to defeat the Servant. Well, I want to see what I buy, Max, and Amazon Fresh will charge me another 10 euros per month on top of my Prime. No thanks. I got you, Vo. Is this supposed to be similar to the real game depths mechanics? Nope. Is there any gathering a building? Nope. Is there a crafter class that would be a cool thing to add to board game? No. No. It's not that kind of game. It shares the lore and the theme and some of the ideas. It's just based on the depths, but the board game is designed to be a good board game, and the depths will be designed to be a good RVR dungeon in an MMORPG. Sacrix. Yeah, I understand, but the crafter dude could be an idea. Did you think about that? Yeah, I sort of experimented with something like that in the early days. But it kind of would be adding a whole nother, like bolting on a whole nother system to the board game. And I just don't want to do that. Make it clunky.
Okay. Just need a little estimate from you.
Popcorn crafting cards to bypass pits and other traps. In a really fast-paced game like this, a board game like this, that isn't very fun. In a more, what I used to work on, like a larger version, right, where you play through many boards and fight monsters, and more like more like a foray into the depths, honestly. That stuff could be more rewarding, but in the Escape the Depths game, it just slows you down mostly, but it's not totally ignored. I've got stuff to interact. A lot of people's favorite part of the game is sort of the interaction with the terrain. Who's doing Q&A this weekend now that MJ is sick? I don't know. Probably Tyler. Probably Tyler and somebody else.
Okay. If you kind of turned it into 75% repurpose, 25% of the time, what kind of adding do you?
People volunteer that sort of information, Sacrix. Some people have said that the hour and a half 5-player game felt like 15 minutes. So that's cool.
Might give me 2 days for VFX. Okay, that's kind of what I figured.
Beta 1 to July 3rd, or we riot.
Yeah. And flamey stuff, I figure.
Sacrix, who do you expect to play the board game? Like a family gathering at Christmas, etc.? Well, it's not a family game exactly. Because, it's the depths. So it's horror and killing, and you power things up with blood. So if you're into playing board games, do it on game night. Halloween, it's your fault I have to start this movement, Max. I can't believe you called me out like that. Sorry, Halloween. Jesters, can you turn the board game into a drinking game? I guess. What can't you? Denarian, I'm excited to see all the board game hype. Yeah. Phenomenal. OMG, that sounds so metal. Yeah, I guess it is kind of. But Chamos, I'd take you to the board game bar near me. There you go. Denarian, it could be a family board game. My kids are teens. Well, there you go. When was the last Gauntlet of Death? Gauntlet of Death, says Sacrix. I don't know, a while back. I haven't wanted to take the time. I've been busy. OG Musashi, is The Depths comparable to Darkness Falls from Dayak? Well, it's comparable. It's a similar concept, as people are saying, but it's not identical at all. If you look for it, there's the original Kickstarter videos that Mark did talking about The Depths. I can give you lots of good information. Also, if you check the wiki, which are in these links on Twitch chat, there's a bunch of information there.
Well, what part are you worried about?
I'd say Thaddeus is accurate. I can see a family of ages 12 plus playing it. If you're a kid at age 6, the board game won't be good for them. And the art will certainly may raise the age a little bit more too, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's no new tech being added there. It's just visually
Zachrix is asking me mechanics about the depths in Camelot Unchained, to which I have no answers. I could only repeat what Marcus said about it, and reiterate that you should check the, I think there's a BSC video on it, right? But also the original Kickstarter video.
Yeah, I was talking
Okay.
Atticus, time frame of the new art, Max? No idea. We're working on it. I've gotten a bit of help from the artists here in the studio, so it won't be my chicken scratches. Strike, I watched your latest board game play on the lunch break. I like how you barely won and kept Michelle alive with 1 HP and even punched him to death. Sorry for the spoiler. Was that scripted or coincidence and ended so quick? Scripted? The only time I've never done anything scripted. What's the point of playtesting? I think the first time I tried some cards, I put them on near the top of the deck so that they would come up, so that I could see how they would play. But other than that, I didn't do that last time. I haven't done that in a while. Not quick, I meant narrow, says Strike. Yeah. Somehow it often comes down to that. The board game playtest with backers the time before Atticus joined me. We had 3 games, all 3 of which came down to the last 1 HP. How much HP you start with? 10 in the board game. Max cheated and won all the play tests. That's certainly not true. So will the name of the board game be Cliffhanger? No, that would be an unresolved story. 10 times 2. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, Strike. There is, I'm hoping, one of the things that shook out of that board game playtest with that Atticus attended was, there's a card in the bottom of the event deck that gives everyone a wound. I'm going to try it with dealing 10 damage instead, which should have the same effect most of the time, but might be a little less feel a little bit less scripted. We'll see. Lotoween. Wait, does the game concept move permanently away from the idea where one player gets corrupted and no one knows who that is? That is part of the larger, longer game, Lotoween. So it's not in Escape the Depths. Escape the Depths is basically the boss fight that happens after that has occurred. Alright, well, it is just about time for me to wrap up this morning with Max. So I will see you later. Join us this afternoon for the end of week wrap up and Q&A, probably with Tyler and somebody, but we'll see. That's going to be at 4 p.m. our time. Here's the link to the schedule once more. Halloween, 2 separate games. I don't know. I mean, not separate necessarily. I mean, one, they're connected, and I'm not working on the full version right now. I'm trying to get the Escape the Depths game. Awesome. All right. I will see you later. And hope you have a good one. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Bye-bye now. Morning with Max.